Hey Brian, this is Mike. All right, we're going to take a look at this down the line view, and I've drawn two lines on you. I've drawn one on your shaft plane and on your elbow plane. And as we take you into the backswing, you can see, kind of like we were talking about over text, this camera angle is a little bit off, but that club is still pretty far underneath your shaft plane on the way back. It's rolled pretty far under, so like we were talking about, the feeling that you're going to have is going to be more of like that Ryan Moore takeaway, that Ryan Moore set to kind of get it more up on your shaft plane. So because the club's under here on the way back, and like I said, your shoulders are working very level. It's kind of around you, and you're correcting from this position from here. So as it gets up to the top of the backswing, you're kind of trying to work back to get it on plane, and you actually overshoot the mark. So as you keep going and transition into your downswing, the club is now extremely steep. So right here, if I draw a line straight down, that line is pointing well inside the golf ball, and all great players, that line is either pointing at the golf ball or even a little bit outside of it. It would be pointing over here. So we need that club to kind of match, your plane lines on the way down, and it's just steep. Your shoulders are still really level. So what happens is, your shoulders start working down to up, kind of like we discussed, because you're trying to reconcile this problem that you've got of the club being really steep. That's why when we had you keep your right shoulder high, it felt really steep, and it felt like this can't possibly be right. It's because I hadn't looked at the down the line view, honestly, and so I apologize for that, probable fruitless pursuit. But the real thing that we need to do here, you do a good job of kind of dropping it back on, but it's taken a lot of hand-eye coordination to do this. So we kind of want to, and then you can see, through impact, especially on this view, you can see, your hands are flipping at it pretty good. That club actually exits on a pretty good plane, but you're having to use your hands a lot to get it over there. So we want to reverse this pattern. So like we discussed, and I know it was only briefly over text, but we want to get that, Ryan Moore takeaway. It's going to feel like, your hands are staying in and the club is going out. Or not even out, but just setting a little bit earlier, like you mentioned, and then you're going to be able to kind of drop it inside. Right now, it's going inside to over. So the feeling that you're going to need is kind of out to under. Really, we're just trying to reverse the pattern here to give you a little bit better plane to swing on. And then you'll be able to keep your hands ahead of it at impact. This is all in an effort to get you to not flip at the golf ball. And the flip happens, just because, like I said, it goes from under to up over. So you're kind of here, and you have to tilt back and you have to throw your hands at it in order to get the club on the ball from here. So like I said, let's reverse that pattern. Let's get it a little bit of a Ryan Moore takeaway, and then it's going to be able to feel like you can kind of sling it from the inside, and it'll and hold on to it a little bit more. That should be the feeling. I think that'll probably clean up the shoulder problem that we're seeing, but certainly it'll give you a better pattern throughout the swing. So this down the line view is definitely more telling than the face on view was. So that's what I got for you. I hope it helps, and feel free to give me a shout. And if you're confused about anything, we can just chat about it over the phone. Hope that helps, man.